Rob. Rob, answer your phone when I call you here in a second. Answer your phone. Yeah. Can you hear me when I talk to you this way? Can you hear me? You can. All right, hang on. Keep talking. No, 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 no. Damn. Okay, I need to hear you though. There we go. I think I hear you now.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you very clearly. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yes, y'all. Frantically running into the office at the last moment from the Dave Campbell's Texas football mothership in beautiful Carrollton, Texas. It is DCTF Live, an internet show that
You doing all right there, Chief?
I ran to get here. I was a little late, and I'm really sorry, guys. I was doing a radio interview about 20 miles away and barely made it. But here I am, speeding to get here.
2 minute late. That's not that bad. When you told me you had to do this yesterday, I was a little concerned. But living in the Irving area myself, I thought, well, it's 20 minutes. He'll make it.
Yeah.
And I get that text from you at about 11:41. Gonna be close.
Well, I was supposed to be done at 11:30.
Right.
I said I need to be out the door at 11:30.
Right.
Which I was thinking, all right, that means that I will get here generally to about 21 minutes. Okay.
Sure.
Rolling in 11:51, got 9 minutes, set everything up. It'll be a scramble, but I can do it.
Right.
So then, we got into a conversation. And the conversation, all of a sudden, I looked up, and it's like 11:35. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh my
that'll happen,
God.
right? It's never the interview time that gets you. It's the, all right, we got done talking football. Let's talk football off
Right.
the air, right? Let's shoot the breeze a little bit,
Right.
which we are always happy to do. Greatest job in the world in that regard, right? Let's talk a little football. However,
Yeah.
when
If
you
I
got a 12 o'clock show to do.
I got places to be, baby. Then I got places
So
to be.
what is the highest speed relative? Like how fast over the speed limit would you say you drove at the peak of this sprint over here?
I want to start this response by saying that I don't condone this.
No, of course not.
And I think that this is wrong, and that we should obey all traffic laws.
Absolutely. No,
and
I
that we
completely,
have been on record for years as loving and respecting the police.
Law-abiding citizens.
We
unquestionably.
we love the police. We
Oh,
think the
for
police
sure.
are important
Yes.
cogs to the social order. I probably went 25 miles over the speed limit.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
It was.
I feel like there's many times you can get away with that on like a turnpike or an interstate. Boy, when you're going like
Yeah.
60 and a 40,
Not proud of it. Not proud of it.
not great.
proud of it.
Not great, Bob.
Today is Tuesday, July 26, 2016, episode 172. Number of stolen bases for Ian Kinsler in his illustrious Texas Rangers career.
Okay.
A little bit later, we will be joined by our good friend James Lott,
Yeah.
to the official recruiting analyst of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, to discuss some quarterbacks across the Lone Star State. People love quarterbacks. People love quarterback prospects. They love
This is
it.
an interesting
I think
group.
I think people love quarterback prospects because it's easy.
Sure.
Because it's easy to evaluate them. You go, he throws good. You know,
Right.
It's a lot harder. That's why I love like the offensive
Boy,
guards.
he wins games, huh?
That's why I love the offensive guards, because the offensive guards you got to really dig into the
Sure.
film to figure out who's good. But we will talk quarterbacks coming up here in just a little bit. And in a moment, we're going to get into some headlines, including our good friend Neil Beasley has announced his DQ Big Game of the Week
It's a,
schedule.
football season tradition.
And
unlike any
there
other.
are some interesting road trips that Mr. Bees will be on, and we will get into that in just a moment. One thing I did want to mention, we were, I mentioned we were off for pretty much an entire week. Before we left,
Yes.
we went. I talked about that I was going to Chicago.
Yes.
Yes. And I did. I went to Chicago to watch baseball and see
This
some
is
friends.
like talking about World War I. It was so long ago.
It really is. It was a long
Yes.
time ago.
Relative
Let
to
me
this
tell you
show.
something about Chicago.
Oh, here
Okay?
we go.
That city is exactly my speed.
Man,
Exactly my speed.
Yeah, in July.
I'm just saying.
In
that,
July.
I'm just saying that Chicago is New York a half step slower.
In July.
And that is awesome. I didn't even mention the weather.
It is
why
a
don't you cool your jet-
frozen
why-
hellscape
Why don't you...
for at least 5 months of the year.
Dude, I'm not saying
It's nobody's speed then.
Dude, I'm not saying it's great
Nobody's.
year-round. I'm not saying it's great year-round. What I'm saying is that it is exactly my speed. That
In
it is
July.
Will you let me finish? It is exactly my speed in that it's the big city feel that's also not like breakneck speed. I really dig that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And I can totally understand why people move there in June and July and in August. And yeah, I'll say like half of September.
Sure.
Right? Probably like September 15th.
Even maybe like the first week of October.
Boy, I wouldn't go that far.
A little crisp.
But I also have friends
Yeah.
who live up there that the weather is a real big time deterrent.
Problematic.
And
Yeah.
the snow thing is not cool. I don't like it. But in the summer, fabulous. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Can't recommend it highly enough. And I made a friend. Well, first of all, I had 2 people who recognized me from Twitter, which is hilarious.
Yes.
The other part of it is that I made a new friend.
Oh, no.
I made friends with Barstool Big Cat.
Oh,
Because
okay,
we did
that's fun.
the radio thing on the ticket,
Yeah.
Sports Radio 1310, 96.7 FM the ticket, with our good friend not Jack Kemp. And I did that, and one of his guests was, or one of the guys we had in studio with us for about an hour and a half, was Barstool Big Cat.
Yeah.
And I have weird feelings about Barstool.
Yes. And you
because
made those clear on the show.
I did. I tried to make that clear on the show. That it is I think that a lot of the stuff they put up there is misogynistic. And I
Right.
think a lot of the stuff they put up there is
Clickbaity.
very clickbaity. But I like Big Cat. Seems like a good dude. Seems like a nice guy. So isn't that weird that
Happens.
that there's all of that, right? It's
Yeah.
kind of like, honestly, it's kind of weird. There are people who hate Tim McMahon.
Sure.
Okay, Tim McMahon covers the Mavericks for ESPN Dallas. And he's a bit of a hot taker.
Right.
He's got a couple hot takes. I have known Tim for like 10 years,
Yeah.
and I love him. I think he's like my favorite. He's one of my favorite people. So it's a weird situation that, like, I don't like some of the takes he has, but that doesn't mean we have to hate each other, guys. Doesn't mean we have to hate each other. It's kind of like me. Kind of like when I'm going to come out and tell you that you should vote for my mom for president. You don't have to be like, oh my gosh, you got bad political opinions. Have you considered voting for my mom for president?
I wouldn't wish that on her under any circumstances. She's far too nice and pleasant.
That's the one problem, right? Like my mom, if she were president, would probably do a good job.
She's very nice.
Probably very nice, but I don't think that I want her to go through that stress and age 500 years in 4 months.
No.
So we are DCTF Live. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. That's TejasFootball.com. Do you think there's actually? I'm going to go there right now.
Oh no.
Is TejasFootball.com taken?
Probably not.
It is not. We should have it, and we should really just go for it.
Right.
All right. Oh, you moved the fantasy football belt. Oh,
I did.
So
well,
it's
you
in
couldn't
the
see
frame.
it. I wanted more
Got
things in the frame here.
Coming
you
soon,
know?
by the way, is the big reveal on what the fantasy football league is going
That
to be.
is true.
Like.
We are. I'm trying to think of how much I'll reveal here. We are going to do a 12-man league.
Mhm.
It is going to be college and high school centric.
And there will be celebrities.
It depends on how you determine what a celebrity
Well,
is.
you'll be in it.
That's not me. We I think we're going to include some sports writers who are up for it. Maybe a few fans.
My goodness.
And I think there'll be an entry fee, and the winner will get to submit that entry fee pool to the charity of their choice.
I like that a lot.
And we have built-in plates on this belt over my shoulder over here to have your name inscribed. And I think for at least 6 months of the year, we will let you take the belt.
Yeah. I think you get it for I think you get it for like the summer, but then you have to come back. First of all, you have to come into the studio to accept it, and you have to come into the studio to relinquish it.
Yes. Absolutely for the next year.
I agree.
But we're very excited about starting that. It'll be fun.
We will get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into some details of that. We'll see.
All right, Max, let's get into a couple headlines. The first and foremost, this was another thing that kind of came down while we were in coaching convention while we were off, is that our good friend, friend of the program, Neil Beasley.
Yes.
At Neil Bees on Twitter. is he's been doing the DQ Big Game of the Week for a couple of years.
That's true.
And for a couple of years, I mean, do you know Rick Renner used to do DQ Big Game of the Week?
I did not know that.
I did. I
Wow.
learned that.
Can we get some old tapes of that?
Boy, I bet we could.
I bet that'd be fun.
I bet we could.
I bet that'd be fun.
So they've revealed the schedule. First of all, one thing I want to applaud Neil on. Every once in a while, he'll have to throw a Thursday game on there. No
Yes.
Thursday games this year, which is great. I like that a lot. Now, let's roll through the schedule. I think you got it up on the screen.
I do.
Friday, August 26th, Atlanta at Henderson. Nice little East Texas tussle, small school tussle
Yes.
to get us going.
I feel like that's a good way to start.
I like-
Starting in East Texas is a great way to start
Starting in East
the
Texas,
season.
you don't have to worry
Yeah.
about a crowd. You don't have to worry about people showing up. That's going to be crazy town banana pants. Second week, week 2, Friday, September 2nd.
Yes.
Mathis at Odom. Now this is how you know that Neil Beasley and company
Knows his stuff.
are aficionados.
Yes.
Okay? It would be real easy to
I
go
think
to
the
like
average person goes, Odom?
I think it would be
Really?
real easy
Right.
to go to a San Antonio or to go to a DFW game.
Oh, sure.
It'd be real easy
Yeah.
to go to a Houston game.
Oh, yeah.
Mathis and Odom is such an awesome deep cut here. I am in awe of Neil Beasley. Mathis and Odom is going to be great, and Odom's going to be going freaking berserker.
Right.
Okay? It's going to be great. All right.
Yeah, and if you don't know, Odom's offense might be the most exciting
Correct.
in the
Michael
state.
Everett and
like
company.
The one that you have never heard of. That would be a blast to watch.
They're going to light the world on fire. It's going to be the
absolutely.
best highlights
There's no
ever.
question.
All right. Friday, September 9th. Getting back into big schools, it's one you can't pass up. Katy
Right.
at the Woodlands.
Right.
First of all, it's Katy going on the road, the defending champs,
Yeah.
go on the road to the team that has really, in the past few years, given them the best run for their money outside of Cedar Hill, basically. Katy and the Woodlands will be great. I believe last year was 14-7 was the final score. I expect nothing less from and this is the year that we talked with Coach Mark Schmidt from the Woodlands. This is the year they've got the quarterback, they've got the offense, they've always had the defense.
Yes.
Can they put it together offensively against the big bad Katy Tigers?
Yes.
Now he's in Houston. All right, so I wish I had a map here. So
right, so
he's
we're
in-
just following him around the
I'm
state.
trying to do it to camera. So let's say this is Houston. I think
Right.
I've got no. This is wrong. This is Houston.
There you go. Now your hand's
This is
actually in the
Houston.
screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Houston. He is going from Houston to Canadian, which is basically like
Someday we'll get like a very expensive graphics program that'll
Yes.
have like a little bus with
course.
a rocket behind it.
Okay, so they're going to Canadian, which is
Yeah.
at the very tip top of Texas, for another fantastic game. Stratford and Canadian, huge rivalry game.
Super fun.
No love lost between these two teams. Canadian moving up a classification, so they won't have Stratford in their district anymore. This is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Then, because he's a crazy person,
He is a crazy.
Neil Beasley has decided to go from Canadian I hope my hand's out of screen. Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Good.
Yeah.
All the way from there down to here. Okay? He's going from Canadian to Harlingen.
Yeah.
To Harlingen
Yeah.
South. Harlingen at Harlingen South. The new kind of Harlingen cross-town rivalry. Going to be a lot of fun down there in the valley. They love when Neil Beasley and company roll down there. Going to be a lot of fun. From there, it's a little bit more of a casual trip.
Yes.
Week 6, they're going to San Antonio Churchill at San Antonio Reagan.
Yeah.
It'll be a great game. A little bit more of a relaxed trip from there.
Yeah.
By the way, they don't stay there the whole week. I'm just saying that.
Well, that actually kind of makes the travel even more ridiculous.
Exactly, because they're
doesn't it?
coming back to Dallas
Yeah.
for that. And then week 7, A&M Consolidated College Station. A lot of rivalry games on this, and I love it.
Yeah, a lot of, and that's an underrated growing rivalry,
yeah.
right? I mean, we've seen some fireworks early on in that one.
Because you can make an argument that A&M Consolidated, as decorated as they've been,
Oh, yeah.
College Station has been better the past couple of years.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to watch them, and the two very different styles too.
And then, because Neil Beasley just hasn't had enough time on the
No.
road,
Time to have more fun.
Week 8, October 14th, El Paso Americas at El Paso Eastwood.
Sure.
First of all, great game.
Right.
Second of all, holy crap, that's a long way.
It's a long way.
That's a 10-hour drive to El Paso.
Yeah, make
10
this
to
one
12.
count.
It's going to be great. Then, by the way, have you noticed that we have not had a DFW game yet? And really,
This
I don't
is
think
the
you'd even-
hipster big game of the week.
I would not. Yeah, I would not.
like it.
I would not classify even Week 9 as DFW.
Yeah.
Kennedale visits Mineral Wells, which
Yeah.
should be a fantastic game. What does Kennedale look like without Q Wadley? Mineral Wells has a ton of firepower offensively. Should be a lot of fun for Week 9. Week 10, another great deep cut. Giddings at LaGrange.
Oh man.
J.K. Dobbins on on deck. Going to be a lot of fun. Giddings at LaGrange. And then week 11, they leave it open for a fan vote, which is probably smart. So if you want, start voting for him to go to a game like on the moon. Because at this point, this is the only place he hasn't gone.
Is the fan vote a normal thing? Do they normally do it at the end of it?
I think this is the first time. This is the first time I've seen it. I'm sure they've done it before. But, I think that's smart because you have run into situations in the DQ Big Game of the Week. And we've done it when we do the DCTF Road Tour. Yeah. That we want to pick out really good games. But then you get to like week 11, and let's say, for example, Kennedale and Mineral Wells were playing. Right. And let's just say Kennedale, they just don't replace Q Wadley very well, and they're like 5-4 coming into that game.
Sure.
Going up against Mineral Wells, who's like 9-0 or something like that. You can't really change it out. This is very smart because then what you could do is you could pick 5 games that you know are going to be good, and then you can say, all right, where do we go? That's very, very smart. It's the NFL flex game. You know what I mean? It's the flex game.
Yes, it is.
So DQ Big Game of the Week, of course, to me, the best 8 minutes in television every week.
Sure.
When during High School Scoreboard Live on Fox Sports Southwest. That is such a ridiculously good. The fact that they put that together in like an hour is incredible.
It's pretty amazing.
It's really cool. If you've never seen it, YouTube, it's really, really good. So, we are DCTF Live. We're here every weekday. Go ahead.
I just realized.
What's
this new look. So for people who are listening to the podcast and aren't used to watching
You're really
it online,
confused.
The new look is a lot of fun, right? It's easier to manage in a lot of ways. But what I did not factor until this very second, people are going to get see me making the phone calls.
Oh!
Which is not the end of the world. We're going to pull back the curtain a little bit here. But normally, you're sitting here with filler and the camera stays on you, which, sorry. But yeah, so now people are going to see me calling our guests.
Internet show very seriously.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
All right, here it comes.
Bye.
We are DCTF Live. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Don't look at this screen that I'm in. Instead, look at this screen over here where you can see Max Thompson calling James Lott. That's what's happening right now. So, want to invite you to go to TexasFootball.com. I will tell you that we are hard at work on these. Now, it's not going to be a TCU football one this year, but we are putting together special season preview, special edition previews for Houston and Texas A&M this year. You can pre-order them online at TexasFootball.com if you want to get yours. It is very in-depth. It is we're going going down the schedule game by game, position group by position group. We've got great main features. David Barron wrote the one for Houston. Brent Swerneman wrote the one for Texas A&M. Should be a lot of fun. You can view it at TexasFootball.com. One of the other guys that we saw down there at THSCA Coaching Convention and Coaching School in San Antonio was the official recruiting analyst of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. We are pleased to be joined once again by James Lott. James, how are you? Long time no see.
Really, guys.
Yeah,
What's it been like 24 hours?
Yeah,
It's
been a minute. Yeah, we've. I feel like I'm having James Lott withdrawals.
Yes, absolutely.
What a great venue, though. What nothing like being around the best people in America and high school football coaches in Texas. So anytime I can go and hang out with those guys and you guys, I can do that all day.
I want to ask you because for us, our goal down there is pretty clear. We want folks to come by and shake hands with Mr. Campbell, get a magazine signed, and then maybe we'll talk to a couple coaches and interview them. For you, when you're talking to coaches, what are you asking them? What are the questions you're asking these high school coaches when you run into them at coaching convention?
Yeah, mine's is a little bit more twofold. It's a combination of meeting high school coaches, getting our brand out there, seeing that we're the official scouting service out there for Texas high school football, and also mingling also with some of the college coaches that are there, the SMUs, the Texases, the A&Ms, and Houstons, and those people, TCUs. We're able to meet with those guys and say hello and talk to them about what we do.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about a couple of prospects you sent us. We're focusing on quarterbacks, and we've talked about a few quarterbacks in the past. the Sam Ellingers, kind of the guys at the very, very top tier. These are guys who kind of a mix of flying under the radar and maybe guys who are, I would say there's some dual threat elements to these guys. We'll start in DeSoto, the former Denton Guyer quarterback, now the quarterback at DeSoto, Sean Robinson. Sean Robinson, I think, is a bit of a lightning rod prospect. There are a lot of folks who really, really like his skill set, and there's other folks who maybe think that he's more suited for another position at the next level. When you watch him, James, what are you seeing out of Sean Robinson?
I've been watching Sean now for 4 years, and when I most recently I watched him at the 7-on-7 a couple of weeks ago, and he's come a long way from what I saw the previous year. I think his first year at Guyer, he blew it up. You remember he set all those records. He had all those amazing receivers. He was on point. And when I looked at him then, I said, boy, this kid's going to be unbelievable. And then I thought last year he came out in his second year at Guyer, and he had a good year, but not a great one. I think we were looking for a little bit more. But we got a good performance, but not what I thought he was capable of doing. So this year, like I said, I saw him at the 7-on-7, and he's poised. He's ready to go. He looks good. He's accepted that role as a team leader, and so I'm really excited to watch DeSoto and what Sean Robinson's going to do this year. Of course, he transferred in, of course, from Guyer. His mom's the basketball coach now over at DeSoto. His dad's also a coach there at DeSoto. He was a coach there at Guyer. But in 3 varsity seasons, get this, he's rushed for almost 6,000 yards. He's passed for 3,715 yards and 96 touchdowns. But what was so impressive about watching what I got excited about was not only watching Sean, but watching DeSoto. Mm-hmm. I don't know who everyone's picking to win the state championship this year, but I've got a little money on DeSoto because boy, they are loaded. Not only Sean Robinson, they got Kellen Walker at running back. Their offensive line has 3 major Division I players on the squad. The receiving corps, one of the best in the country, so I'm really looking forward to watching those guys and Sean this year at DeSoto to see if they can finally bring DeSoto a state championship.
And I think that one of the things that I've thought a lot about Sean Robinson is that you mentioned he's really been in the spotlight since he was basically a freshman. He's been in the spotlight for this is his 4th year, and I wonder if that has an effect on how we view him, that he blew up and probably set the bar too high for himself to begin with. And then I don't think anybody would call what he did last year a great year. I think that he had his struggles. But I wonder if those are the types of things that, because the spotlight was so bright on him, that we're just noticing more as opposed to it actually being a problem. Does that make sense?
Yeah, oh, for sure, and that may be the case because as I look at him now, I look at him and say, oh wow. This kid's got it all. He's got everything you look for to play the position at the next level. I would just like him to perform in the spotlight at the highest level to see if he can break that barrier and take it to the next level.
We're talking with James Lott, the official recruiting analyst, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, here on DCTF Live. Get involved in the conversation at hashtag DCTF Live. And James, I want to ask you about another DFW area quarterback, a guy who I think has found a way to slide a little bit under the radar, Chris Robeson, the quarterback from Mesquite Horn. I feel like every time I watch this kid play, he does something else to dazzle me. This kid is really fun to watch.
Absolutely. And another kid we've been following around here for several years, OU committed to OU back in June of last year. A solid commit this time, I think. Fantastic athlete. He's also a punter. He also punts for the team. But he chose OU over Houston, Kansas, and some other folks. But good-sized kid. He's a dual threat guy, but I think he's a passer first. He can hurt you as a runner also, but I think he looks to throw the ball, and he throws the ball with a great release, a good release. It's quick. He sees his target, and he zips it in there. So he gets the ball out of his hand real quickly. Isn't afraid to throw the ball in the tight windows. Quality arm, can throw all the throws. But impressive kid. Like you said, I get excited every time I watch him, and every time you watch him, he does something else where you're like, wow, this kid's going to be special. So I'm really looking forward to following this guy this year and seeing where he can take Mesquite Horn.
And one other guy that you sent along that I definitely want to touch on is Connor Blumrick, the quarterback out of Pearland. I think when people think of Pearland, they think of defense, they think of offensive line, they think of running game. Here's a quarterback in Connor Blumrick who's got all the measurables: 6'6", 205. I mean, he's built like a monster. Committed to Texas A&M. When you watch him, and he's more of a pro-style type guy. He's more of your typical, not typical pocket passer. He can move, but running's not maybe his strong suit as it is with maybe Sean Robinson. When you look at Connor Blumrick out of Pearland, another guy I think flying under people's radar, what do you see out of him?
True pocket passer, true pro-style guy that can sling it, strong arm, can make all the throws. Can throw on the move off his back foot with great accuracy. Definitely doesn't dazzle you with his running ability, but that's not what he's all about. He's a smart kid. He sits back there. He finds his target. And for those teams that are looking for those type of offenses, he's a guy that can come in and contribute immediately because he's got all those intangibles. But different from Sean Robinson and those guys, but not nonetheless a kid that at A&M at the next level he's gonna make a dent because he does a lot of things well.
He really is, and he's well coached there with Tony Heath at Pearland. He is James Lott. He is the official recruiting analyst of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at JL Scouting. James, appreciate your time, and we'll do it again next week.
Okay, guys. Have a good one.
There he goes, James Lott. You can also see Max turning off the call.
It's not that big a deal, Greg.
I just think it's kind of funny. It's going to be funny for a while. But yeah, Sean Robinson's the interesting one here. Because Sean Robinson, I think there are a lot of people who looked at his numbers last year, and myself included, very skeptical. Right. He completed something like 43% of his passes. Yeah. It was a bad number. Right. And when you watched him, he didn't look comfortable. He looked like he was just waiting to run. Right. He looked like he was waiting for the opportunity when it was acceptable to run as opposed to throwing it. Now, if he's made strides, I think that's a huge deal for DeSoto because, but I think that's a big part of this is that this is a kid who's been in the spotlight for 4 years. This is a guy we've been watching for 4 years, and he comes out and he starts and he's like gangbusters, and it's all of a sudden the expectations are way up here. Right. Well, what if he's just instead of being I don't know if I'm in frame. What if instead of being kind of up here, what if he's just here?
Right, it's still great.
That's still great.
Still great.
But I wonder if maybe he set the bar so high for himself that all of a sudden now he kind of regresses to a mean, if you will, and he's still a great quarterback, but he may not be like the next Joe Montana. Right. You know, I don't know. It's an interesting case with Sean Robinson.
It is. I'm curious too. His move creates a lot of different. Like Luke Stillwell now at Denton Guyer becomes a quarterback. We're going to be talking about this year. The quarterback crop this year, pretty good,
pretty solid.
Right?
Pretty
I mean,
deep
the seniors we have across the state. I mean, we're talking about these three guys, but you still have your Sam Ellingers out there. You have Charlie Brewer is still out there. So many quarterbacks that we're going to be keeping an eye on this year. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's a really good crop of quarterbacks. I'm really excited to watch.
Because it was funny. We were talking about some of the guys from the recruiting classes the last few years, and it hasn't been that long since that year before Kyler Murray when there really wasn't anyone in the quarterback that was a major recruit. This year, it's a lot different.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. There's a lot. It's a very deep And I think in a lot of respects, when you have depth, you don't necessarily have top heaviness.
Right.
Maybe you just have a lot of average. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case. I think you've got a good mixture of guys who are legitimately top tier 5-star, 4-star type guys, and then a bunch of really, really good guys who are in the 3 to 4-star range, who I think are really, really solid here. I was trying to pull up the top 300 and see if I could just run through.
It's a heck of a
it's
group.
Too. I mean, it's really incredible. So let's see the quarterbacks we have.
We haven't even talked about Avery Davis,
Josh Adkins at Smithson Valley,
Adkins,
Emilio Ames at Wiley, Connor Blumrick, Trevon Bradley at Cleburne. We mentioned Charlie Brewer, Ty Brock at College Station.
Yeah.
Will Chaney at Alamo Heights, Avery Davis, the quarterback at Cedar Hill.
Yeah.
Dylan Davis at Aledo, Jarrett Dagey, Cameron Fields, Jalen Gibson. I mean, it goes on and on and on.
And you're only to the G's.
Colby Kizzy, who's at Conroe, is fantastic. Jalen Mascoro from Rafiro, who may not even play quarterback.
Right.
We were talking with Mike Foreman about that. It's really, really remarkable how deep this class really is. Cam Roan, the quarterback at Colleyville Heritage.
Yeah.
It's really, really good class.
Really good group.
Oh, we didn't even mention Jason Shelley. I don't know. It just goes on and on and on.
Right.
So that's going to do it for us. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell. And, of course, CSTexasFootball.com. Vince Young, please commit your Player of the Year trophy. And we will see you tomorrow for an especially prompt edition
Yes.
of DCTF Live.